started the show. He's sadly mistaken.
I was I went to a gas station this morning. I said hi to the gas station workers. I say hi to every morning, and there's a pest guy there, and I'm looking for a new pest guy. So I hand out my real estate card, and so he said, "Oh yeah, you're in real estate." So yeah, I'm looking actually to relocate down here. I live in Sacramento. I was like, "No way, I know an agent in Sacramento." He's like, "Yeah, my agent was Jim Fuller." I was like, "I know Jim Fuller."
No way.
Funny.
What's his name?
Oh hell if I remember.
We didn't get that far.
No, I gave him my card.
He was afraid to ask for the information. He just gave out information.
No, I was in a rush for my timeline because I abide by my schedule and time was ticking.
That was about as good as an answer you can give. That's
No, I don't like I have my schedule and I live by my schedule. If it teeters, I get really uncomfortable. It throws my entire day off.
Like when you wake up at 7:45 because you're up till 12:30 last night, paint your daughter's bedroom.
I'd still wake up at 5.
I thought I would too.
Are you on a painting tip too, Eric?
No, no, no. I think the next thing we do in this house is gonna be flooring.
The next thing we do in this house is celebrate wins.
Oh, okay. I got a good one.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for the line. I'm waiting for it, Dan.
Just because my
Go.
internet didn't connect doesn't mean I didn't say it.
I didn't see your mouth move.
Win celebration, something you're proud of.
I got to spend a majority of
We're
the
gonna
day
pull the-
yesterday with Dan.
Will, you guys remember that show tool or Home Improvement, The Wilson?
Yep.
I'm gonna do my calls like this from now on. Eric did get to spend the majority of his day with me.
Yeah, I got 5 hours of watching the teacher apply all of the tools and trainings in actual real life situations with his client. It was quite interesting to watch.
It's so funny. I went out with one of my mentors on a listing appointment way back in the day. And he'd teach all this and objection handling and blah blah blah. Went on the appointment and like just bombed it. I was like, oh, whoops.
No, it was really really insightful, really cool. I wish I would have started I wish I would have done that like the beginning of my real estate career. But being able to like sit there and observe and watch Dan apply everything he's taught me or coached me on in like actuality in real life with his real client, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, are you gonna do this? I'm like thinking to myself, I was like, oh, you haven't done this yet. You haven't done this yet. And then he does it. I'm like, there it is.
That was my bad. I didn't mean to say that Dan was like that guy. It just reminded me of a funny story.
Oh, I am that guy. I'm not perfect. Do as I say, not as I do.
But I mean, I'm not trying to toot your horn, Dan, but Dan makes it like he
Toot his
just
horn.
flows. It's like smooth as butter. He controls the situation, controls the conversation, guides his clients, agrees with his clients. Like, yeah, you're totally right. That is messed up. That is messed up. But here's the thing. I think it was like paint. It was brick. It was brick house. It was just paint shipping. They're worried because they think the house is shifting and the bricks are separating and all this other stuff. Dan's like, no, it's just paint. Look. He's all, I totally agree with you though. That's a big concern. I'd be concerned too, but check it out.
You know that is like not unintentional. I mean, I can't speak for Dan, but that's such a good thing in sales, and just like not just in sales, just like in life and in relationship building. If you want to make a point or if you want to get an idea across to someone, you have to first agree with them.
Yep.
If the more you agree with them, the more you validate their thoughts and feelings, the more likely they are to validate your thoughts and feelings, or at least agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
So if you go into any conversation trying to prove someone wrong, they automatically put defenses up, or not prove them wrong, but just prove that you're right, or anything like that. So yeah, that's super, super powerful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to observe that.
It's yes and.
Yep.
There's a book.
And
called
also giving them
It's just
Also-
crazy. It was super cool to watch. And like I know Dan like on a professional and a personal level, and watching him match energies of me, another agent, and his client all at the same time is it's a trip. I was like, this is how you create and control the relationship, the situation. Like it was super cool. Super cool to watch. And then I was in Dan's car, so I got to ask all the questions. Why'd you do this? How come this happened? What about this? And being able to conversate after the client's gone was, man, you can't beat it. I think everybody should do that. Get with a high performer and just watch. Because you can tell me all day, but unless I see it in reality, it's never going to stick.
Next time, Eric, when you get to go with a high performer, you should probably go with a high performer. But thanks for hanging out with me for the day. I did get her to write a contract on that last house, so we got an offer out last night. So
Oh, she went with it?
Yeah.
That's
So-
awesome.
full price offer with concessions, and it actually has a high likelihood of getting picked up too. So
Yeah, and I thought I was just opening the door. It turned into a full day experience. Totally worth it.
one of the wins there, Eric, is that when you get the opportunity to learn, take it.
Oh yeah, I'll jump at it
Take
like
it.
I did yesterday. You busy today? Nope.
And I asked us, hey, we're gonna look at other houses. You want to go? Come around. I got no problem. Anybody has that opportunity. If I've got something going on, you're more than welcome to take shotgun.
Totally
Even
worth
Sam,
it.
Sam can come down. I'll even take him to lunch.
I used to love doing that with the agents in my Sotheby's office because they would always want to take me so I could take videos of them. And I got to see some really sick properties and got to see
I
like
bet.
one of the top producing agents like in La Jolla talk to her clients, do appraisals. Like it was really, really cool. And I was always like, yeah, I'll do the open houses. Yeah, I'll go with you to do this. Just even ride along. Like it was awesome.
Damn
I
it,
want to
Eric.
shout
why-
out Sotheby's in San Diego. That'd be awesome.
Right?
Got some sick properties and to like walk through it with that agent and have them tell you about it. It's different. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely took some stuff away though. So totally worth it. I'm gonna start applying that in my business.
Got your San Diego shirt on.
Ah,
Got your
yeah.
San Diego shirt.
It is a City shirt.
Yeah, it's too bad San Diego's in California.
Yeah, I say that every time. I
Why?
say that every time. Oh my god. That was the most expensive vacation ever, and it was here.
Yeah.
But I got to be a tourist in a place I lived most of my life, so that was cool. Let's
Too
see
bad
it from a different.
California's in California.
Yeah, California would be nice if it was in California.
You know what's worse
Amen.
in California? Not letting Sam talk.
No, geez.
Yeah, true. Sorry.
I'm not letting it get away from this. Sam was gone last week. He's got to catch up. How's your little one doing?
The dog, bro. So dog's
That's
a
your
dog.
little one?
He's huge. Yeah, he's very little. My this is gross. My cat threw up. My dog ate the cat's threw up, and then he started
Ugh.
throwing up. So I come downstairs in the morning and I'm making coffee, and I just hear like this horse of a dog puking in the back room, and I was like, "Oh, dude, he is not doing good." And took him to the vet because he's never sick, and he's been like, I don't know, he gets into weird stuff sometimes. So I didn't want him to get. It's totally fine. Just scared the crap out of me. So yeah, thanks for checking on that.
Yeah, not only even Aspen's cat got electrocuted this week twice, I think.
Oh, how did that happen?
Yeah, he bit a cord. And yeah, I guess I wasn't home. I was actually at some showings and he started like convulsing and then
Oh,
rushed him to
no.
the vet after. But he's fine now. So that's a win. And then another win is I'm picking up my check today. So
Yeah.
Yo,
yep. So
Sam, are your company and lenders resources available or able to do a VA buyer abatement for their payment?
Ooh.
DA buyer abatement. Hold on, let me look this up really quick.
I was like,
Like
huh?
their
I
first.
don't think I've heard that
So-
before.
Dear chat, what is VA buyer
Yeah.
abatement?
Yeah, no. I built a.
All of our faces.
Everybody's looking at you, Sam.
I'm gonna bring the questions, guys. I got some random stuff out there.
Oh, I got another one for you, Sam. After this one, I even asked Dan about it actually yesterday.
That's the escape clause. Let me see.
Escape.
Let me get back to you on that. I don't see, just at a high level, I don't see why they wouldn't, but let me verify that though.
What
Yeah.
is? What is?
What is abatement? What is abatement?
So if there's, I mean, okay, so VA, if there's any like major health and safety issues that they have to remedy, like asbestos or anything like that, is that what you're asking? Like doing like asbestos or mold abatement or anything like that? Or are you talking like more getting out of the contract?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying. That narrows it down.
Yeah,
Which
I'll
one?
get-
The repairs and
more-
stuff?
So it was
Big
told
commit.
to me that because I've got a buyer that is orders start at the end of October, call it November 1. Actually, October 23rd, to get the exact date. So, and I was told that she needed to be closed within 60 days of that order date, which would be August 23rd. But we needed 4% in concessions so that they could abate her first payment so that her first real payment wasn't due until November 1 because she's got a lot of expenses to relocate to her new duty station that will be reimbursed, but she's got to come out of pocket first. Yeah. I'd never heard of it. I was like, that's
I
interesting.
haven't heard it called that. Yeah, I haven't heard it called that before. But so if you there's another name for it that escaped me because I've only done it a couple times, but just because we haven't had a situation for it in a while. But if you get deployed within a certain time period of your close date on a VA loan, the seller, so you have to get seller concessions. It cannot come out of the veteran's pocket, but they can. I think they can move up to 3 payments, but it depends on a couple stipulations. You basically, if you're working with like your VA regional center at that time, they'll still fund the loan, but they basically don't want you to have to. They want you to go into hardship on that first payment. First payment default is a huge thing with any investor. So they want to ensure that you have the funds, and they usually ask for that in the form of a seller concession or interested party contribution. So it could be like, an agent or a lender credit. So yes, I think that's like a universal VA thing. It's a little more nuanced. So there are some VA lenders that have overlays that disallow that because in most cases it comes from the lender, just because no one wants to cough up an extra 1 to 2% to get that money.
What if they're currently deployed?
If they're if they're currently deployed, you can still fund a VA loan. There's something to do, and I'll look at the specific guideline, but it's something to do with going from like active duty and then going into deployment. And if you buy within a certain time period of that, they kind of require you to have reserves, if you will, for that first payment. But I've done countless loans for like, husband and wife couple. The wife is buying a home and he's overseas or wherever, even on training. So that's not a huge deal. Not sure why they see that as a bigger deal than if you're already deployed. But anyway, what was your question?
So I have a current client, and I've never heard this before. I didn't know this was a thing. We are under contract on a conventional loan. We had issues with an appraiser, who I'm hoping loses his license for, stupid stuff. And we had an engineering report. The engineering report called out a couple things. We need tie downs or ties or whatever you call it. But in order to get an appraiser, to go out there and not get subject to and be dead in the water. They're talking about flipping it from a conventional back to a FHA for the appraisal, and then flipping it back to conventional after we get the appraisal. Is that a thing?
Wait, hold on. That just hurt my brain.
Yeah, it hurt my brain
wait.
too.
Why? Who's it? Okay. Well, first off, let's break this down. So why would it kill the deal for it to be subject to?
I don't know. The lender didn't tell me that. We were actually at lunch, and I was trying to get as much information, and then I tried to call back afterwards, and I never got an answer. But it's being sold as is. So there are. It's not. How do you say it? It needs work. It's all cosmetic work, and with the exception of like the ties, but the appraiser went out there, and I guess he's buddies with the engineer that went out there to do the engineering inspection. The engineering inspection said, "Oh yeah, you need ties. There's some water under, but that's coming from the swamp cooler. So the little pillars underneath the manufactured home are wet because of the swamp cooler." So he was talking to the appraiser. The appraiser never saw the property. He just said, "Oh, it needs to be condemned. It's not habitable," and everything. I've been to this property 3 different times. It's the outside needs like a good paint. The deck needs to be redone, but the inside, it's habitable. Like everything works. There's no like shifting. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing super wrong with it. It's just being sold as is. That's why we're going conventional. So the appraiser didn't see it. It's like, "Hey, find somebody else. I'm not doing it. It needs to be condemned." And that was the end of story. So the lender got a hold of, was it the ADA or ABA or whatever it is, for the appraiser. They reached out to the appraisers that went out there and said, "Oh yeah, no, I didn't look at it. I got information from the engineer who did the engineer report, and he said this. So yeah, it just needs to be condemned." So in order to get an appraiser like yesterday, they're talking about moving it from conventional to an FHA. And I told him, I was like, it's not going to pass an FHA inspection. I was like, we have termite, dirty termite report that needs to be remedied. We have, XYZ. It won't pass. So we're just doing it for the appraisal. We'll get the appraisal. If everything's good, it appraises, like we'll go back to conventional and do it that way, or do an escrow holdback on an FHA, because the amount of money that they were going to put down on the conventional would be applied towards the repairs on an FHA and just do an escrow holdback. But I didn't know you could flip flop.
Well, you can. So conventional, FHA, and VA, they all have separate appraisal guidelines and appraisals. FHA and VA are closer in similarity in that, like the things that they call out, the stuff they look for. Both are highly concerned with like health and safety issues and cosmetic stuff, where conventional is more just generalized. But you cannot fund a conventional loan with an FHA appraiser and vice versa, or can't fund a VA loan with a conventional. That does not exist. You have to have the type of appraisal ordered for the type of loan you're trying to fund. That's number one. Number two is having a subject to appraisal does not condemn a deal. Let me text this client really quick. Yeah. So for instance, I have a VA deal I'm doing up here right now, and the house needs some cosmetic work. There's a broken window. Some of the paint on the deck is chipping. And what we're going to do is have the appraiser go out there. Obviously, he's going to call this stuff out. The buyer is sitting on some cash right now, and he's highly motivated to get this house, just for how it's going to work with this, overall retirement plan and stuff. The seller is an estate, so they're not only to fix anything, but we've worked this out where anything on the appraisal that keeps it from financing, he's going to cover out of his own pocket. And we're just going to do it in like a credit sort of situation. But once we get the appraisal back, it'll say your property will be appraised at X, subject to the following repairs being made and passing final inspection. So they're going to call out the window, They're going to call the debt. They're going to call out whatever else they deem is required for it to be financed with the VA. All that means is we will not fund this house, and we won't give it this value unless these three things are committed or are completed. So then we'll have a punch list of things we need to complete. In this case, he's going to cover out of his own pocket and have them completed before closing, and then we'll be able to fund the loan. So on any other loan, I mean, I've done this thousands of times. A subject to is not a death sentence. That, like, for houses that you don't want to do an escrow holdback on, or you don't want to do a rehab loan on, just figuring out a way within your contract of how to make that work. It's super easy. Now, going from conventional to FHA, that is not very good advice, because it would be a completely separate appraisal. At that point, they're just saying, like, hey, we want to see if someone's going to take a stab at it, and we're going to flip programs so we can order a new appraisal. But it would be easier for them to cancel the contract internally, restart it, and just order another conventional appraisal, but make sure they're not using the same appraisal management company. So AMC.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And then hiring a new inspector as well, because if an inspector is, first off, that's a huge red flag. If the inspector is in cohorts with the appraiser, and the appraiser is basically going off of what the inspector is saying or the engineer is saying, that he's not actually doing an appraisal. He's not doing, like, that is not doing his job. That's like, I'm not going to make a parallel analogy, but that's not how things should be done. So you're better off, if they won't do it, you're better off switching lenders and just ordering a new appraisal to go out there and have it completed. Now, on conventional, there's a couple things. So houses, this is like a Obama era thing. So like 2010, maybe 2012. I'm not sure exactly when this started, but Fannie and Freddie started classifying homes based on their overall quality. They started tracking home sales and home degradation through sales, so the home's quality. And they classified homes C1 through C5. C5 is like, it's basically a rehab. C1 is basically a new build or a house that's in pristine condition. Most lenders will fund a loan, a conventional loan, all the way up to C4. Once it goes to C5, the only thing you need to do is bring it to C4. So a C5 home is something that has like structural issues. It has major rehab that's going to cost more than $30,000, or some form of system is not working. So electrical system, plumbing system, heating system, something like that. With this house having the tie downs being non-existent or just compromised?
Non-existent.
Okay, so that is a structural issue for a manufactured home. So first and foremost, you have to get that remedied. So it might be easier, and they're not overly expensive. I don't know if you guys have ever been bored and YouTubed how they do tie downs on manufactured homes. It's not super complicated to do. There's companies that go out and do that in a day. Manufactured homes, by virtue of it being a manufactured home or a on-site constructed home, they're all made to be done like in a weekend. The house comes in 2 separate pieces. There's a marriage line that gets bolted together with clamps. They put a stamp over a couple different parts of it, and then they do tie downs into the ground. There's different variations of how they do the foundation. The tie downs are by far the most common and the easiest. All it is these big, deep earth anchors that look like giant screws. They can screw down. There's cables that go from the cable to the I-beams underneath the house to basically hold it in place. But there's companies you can call any mobile home installer or manufacturer or dealer, and they'll have a contractor that's usually on site or on speed dial that can get that done like in a couple days.
Yeah, the seller's agreeing to have the tie downs put in.
Perfect. So I would honestly get that done before the appraisal and before an inspection, because having the inspection done, you're just opening yourself up to a can of worms. Like, why not clear a little bit of the red tape out that exists before having that done? But I think your best move with that one is switching lenders. I'm not saying that because I'm a lender. Like, you don't send it to someone else. Send it to me if you want. Send it to anyone else. Just have them switch financing, because that will force a new appraisal. But just make sure before you order the engineer cert and the appraisal, you get those tie downs completed. As far as the water underneath the foundation or underneath the crawl space, anytime there is moisture level, even a moisture level over a certain number, I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, they're gonna say there's something wrong with the crawl space. So I would check like so the swamp cooler vent line or drain line, make sure that's draining away from the foundation, not going to the crawl space. That's an easy fix.
Yep.
I would imagine down there it's probably going to dry out pretty quickly. So doing those two things ahead of time can really help make the financing go smoother. That's kind of a side note, but there are things like that over time, the more transactions we do, the more problems we encounter, we can kind of start observing ahead of time things that will cause an issue, and anything we can do up front to kind of clear us for the way obviously makes the transaction go so much smoother. So like those two things I would for sure try and have completed before you have any of the official work done. Short of the story is there's two professionals in this transaction that sort of bombed it, and there's kind of no coming back from that unless the lender internally agrees to cancel the transaction, hire a new AMC and a new inspector to go out there and do the work. But I think regardless, it would be beneficial to you to have at least the tie downs done ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a $2,500 fix, and
Yeah.
an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
Yep. But the house right now is going to be classified as a C5. As soon as it goes to a C4, if that's the only issue, you're off the races. Going FHA is that's just really dumb. I mean, that's really, really dumb. So
Yeah. No, so like it kind of I'm concerned about it, but I'm not a lender. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that was the thing. You're the professional. I don't, I'm not a lender. I don't know this stuff. So, I mean, if you think that's going to work, then go for it. But I was thinking about it last night, and it's just something eating at me about it. I'm like, it doesn't seem right. It like, I don't want to create more problems for my buyers, but the sellers also. Like, I want this transaction to go through. But if it's not going to go through, then I need to save my clients, and we got to go find something else or negotiate the fixes with the seller and just have it that way. But right now we're at the point where we don't even have funding yet because of these two reports, or one report and one non-existent, he said, report.
You
yeah.
don't have
As long as all parties are working together, I think it'll close for you. I just did one like so similar. We had to get an elevation cert, the engineer cert, and then we had to get another engineer cert after. Yeah, it was a lot, dude. We got pushed back 3.5 weeks from our original closing date, but it eventually closed. As long as everyone is working together, it'll happen. It's just it sucks a little bit, especially for the buyer.
The other party is a difficult realtor, and I've dealt with them before, so I kind of already understand.
Yeah, and that doesn't make it easy for anyone. So
I just
Here's the big thing. Let Sam finish his thought. I got to kick you guys out of here.
okay. That's all I was going to say. Open invite to all of you. Dan pays me on retainer to be on these calls. So, I mean, you don't have to send me business. Just if you have an issue with a deal, or if you have a question, shoot me a text, and like, don't ever get, I'm here to help. Okay. Dan does not pay me on retainer. I thought that'd be funnier than it actually was, but
I was going to come in like, guys, I need you to send him business, so my retainer's not expensive.
Yeah, no. If I don't answer the phone, text me. I'm better at texting because I get I just got 3 phone calls on this Zoom call, so I get so many phone calls during the day. I'm usually on and off the phone. But if you ever have a weird question, or just something doesn't sit right with you, or you just want to know how something works, shoot me a text. I'm legitimately here to help. I love this stuff. I'm passionate about what I do. So take me up on that.
Highly knowledgeable, and he's looking out for you. So that's where I want you guys to use Sam. So thank you again, guys.
Sam, can you put your number in the text?
Yeah,
How about
my
this?
screen
He's
is
in the
frozen
group
right
chat.
now. Yes.
Are you on the WhatsApp?
If
Group
it's
chat?
not, I could put it in there too.
Thank you.
So, all right. Until then, my friends, enjoy your weekend. Do something great. I want to see 9 escrows in this weekend. I think we can do it. Yeah?
Yep.